and welcome back, Mixtapers. Thank you for joining us tonight. I, as always, Punky Bruiser, this guy.
I'm saying my name right here. Oh, hi, I'm Dylan
Yeah.
Willoughby. How you doing?
Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, Mixtapers. We are excited to have joining us from right here in Maine, coming out of Belgrade, Maine. I'd like you all to make some noise for our featured guest of the week. Make some noise for Midnight Possession. How we doing, everybody?
Fucking amazing.
Pretty good, man. Good.
Thanks for coming and hanging on the mixtape tonight. We absolutely appreciate you.
Thanks for inviting us. We're so excited to be here.
Well, we've been digging on you guys since we played you during our mixtape request live, and been grooving on it ever since. But for the mixtapers that might have missed that, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the band.
I'm Bodie. I'm the front man. With the cleans and screens.
I'm Warren.
Queens and the Screens.
I'm Warren. I play guitar and a little bit of vocals here and there. I'm Nick. I also play guitar, but that's pretty much it.
I'm Heather. I play bass and I do vocals as well.
I'm Ron. I fix the.
And you hit.
He hits me mostly.
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Yo, all right, let's we're gonna talk this out. We can do a little talk therapy. I do have sock puppets, if that helps.
that always helps me.
Am I out?
Oh, mixtapers, don't hit your bandmates.
Don't do it.
Unless it's your kink, I don't know.
Unless they're the instrument. If the band member's the instrument, then I guess.
That's true. Maybe that's a
that'd
whole
be
other
that'd be
thing.
a good concept. That's interesting.
Human instruments. Human instruments.
Well,
You could borrow that one. You could definitely borrow that one. Now, tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit what kind of band Midnight Possession is.
Well, basically, we just write things that keep you up at night. Fucking, yeah, I don't exactly know.
Okay. All right. So, I think I talked to Warren about this a little bit ago, and the meaning behind the name itself was just that we write about the things that keep you up at night. So, worries, anxieties that you have, some dark subjects. We touch on a lot of those topics. We are alternative metal, metalcore, whatever you want to call it. And we kind of like the old, we're a little bit more of an old school sounding, metalcore vibe. So, yeah.
Which, for me, is really good because I'm still hooked on that early 2000s metalcore scene.
Right.
As somebody that has played in old deathcore and metalcore bands, it definitely playing right to play into my heartstrings right there. And I think that's what immediately caught my attention. I was like, oh, you literally feel like a modern slice of 2008, which I absolutely love.
Right. That's kind of the vibe that we go for sure.
That's a compliment to me.
Yeah.
As it should be. As it should be. Now, that's one thing I like. You have this, like you said, you have this mix of alternative rock and metal, but you're kind of making it your own. There's moments where I hear influence of old Killswitch, and then there's moments where I hear a little bit of old Thrice and more on the rock side of things like that. Now, do all of you have a pretty diverse background and what your interest was, your formative bands in the music?
Oh, yeah.
Because I can see a lot of different genres coming, mashing into one here. I can hear old Linkin Park and and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the big Linkin Park fan on this? Bodie, is that you? Bodie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bodie, I knew it. Bodie, I could hear it in your vocals, my friend, and I mean that with the utmost, hugest compliment. You fucking ripping on those screams. You definitely had a classic Linkin Park feel on there, which I think the mixtapers really love because they're also like me. They're here in the basement, and we really like 2008. Things were much simpler back then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing diversity in just the T-shirts alone. You know, I got what, Trivium and Floyd in there. Like love
Yeah.
diversity is key. Like,
You know what's the thing that's the common thread between both of those T-shirts?
what's that?
They both smell like weed.
Mine definitely does.
Definitely not.
I like that you said thread.
This guy, absolutely.
We'll have bacon
Oh
pancakes.
shit!
Good lord. Yeah, there's a nice little story about Rodney smoking weed.
Never
One of
smoked
the
weed.
only times that
Never smoked weed.
Oh, what's
Sure.
I mean, first of all, I mean, as long as you don't get caught, am I right? Am I right? But what's this weed smoking story in public? I'm curious now.
Oh
I'll
boy.
bite.
So, we were having practice one night as we do chilling in the basement. We all went outside. Rodney decided, what the hell, for like the first time in God knows how long. And we come back inside and it's starting to hit him, and we're kind of just chilling, and he just starts chanting like what was it, bacon pancakes,
Making
bacon
pancakes.
pancakes, like into the microphone. And he
Take some
would-
bacon, put it in a pancake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he would not stop. It was to the point where we were all so sick of it, and he just kept going.
I wasn't sick of it because I was egging it on.
He was literally a broken record just on reading again.
The more annoying you guys got, the funnier it was.
Right along with it.
So, and then
Bodie's over there just pouring gas on the fire.
On the album, and it's going to be called Manic, but originally it was called Chronic, and originally it was kind of like a joke song about Rodney smoking weed. Bacon pancake.
I know when I get stoned, that's all I can think about is bacon pancakes. So I mean, like,
Right?
that's what I need.
Rodney, would you bless us with a verse?
Oh gosh, I've retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll get you. We'll get you. We're gonna get you. So it looks like you guys started getting active like a little bit before the pandemic. Tell me about how you all got started.
Well, it was
Technically, it started between Warren and Bodie. They were in bands for a long time together, and kind of in between trying to start a new project that I joined in. Warren and I are family, and then it just kind of started building up from there. We found Rodney on Craigslist.
We like
Oh, I love Craigslist band ads. Oh, how did you put out the ad? I'm always so curious about this.
Was it my ad or did you guys have it?
No, it was your
I
ad.
had that.
no, he put the ad out.
He put it.
Jesus.
I was drummer for looking for bands.
pretty much, yeah.
You were the only person.
I hit things.
2 bands.
I hit things and sing about pancakes. Like I got you.
Oh.
And then I joined circa 2017, 2018, right on the cusp there.
Something like
I was a senior in high school, and these guys came in wanting to record Heartbeat Melody, and I was doing this class where I was learning about like audio recording. At my school, we had like a studio that one of the teachers had put a lot of time and money and effort into, and that was a class that he offered. And I was taking it, so we recorded that. We had very little time, and I was not very experienced. That version is no longer on Spotify.
Cut that.
Yeah, I think that they actually recorded also Broken Soul. That never saw the light of day.
Oh, yeah.
that. For sure.
And we're gonna cut that too.
And then they ended up saying, hey, we're looking for a bass player, because we had kind of stayed in contact given our similar interests in music, and I played bass. They said, hey, we're looking for a bass player. how would you like to come, jam with us? And so 17-year-old me looked at my parents and said, hey, can I go jam in Portland with a bunch of these guys that you've never met? And they said yes, but I think they made me bring someone at the time. It was my
Smart
ex.
move. Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was smart.
Smart move.
Which was smart.
I wasn't so smart. I was ready to take it. Whatever happened. Showed up.
So
Just put me in the van, take me on tour. I'm good. Ronnie's down. That's fine.
Well, we had him come down to the practice space, and he set everything up, and it was basically a fucking closet.
Oh,
It was so
like
small.
probably half the size of this living room here. It was like what, $425 a month for it.
Yeah.
And so when I joined, I kind of was like, why are you guys paying $425 a month when I have a basement in Belgrade for free?
That's because at the
Way
time,
better.
when we first started trying to get it, we were at our old player house, and I think maybe 10 minutes in, the cops showed up. And they showed up, I think, 14 times that day. So we were just figuring out what to do. There was a great place in Portland at the time called Grind where we could be as loud as we want and didn't have to worry about anything. And so for the time being, it was like definitely the start of this band. It was a big help, but it definitely helped being able to come here with a lot more room.
New
And
bass player came with perks.
yeah.
That's bass players gotta have perks. That's it's like I'm a bass player, so you gotta have something else to bring to the table if you're a bassist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Speak as a bassist myself, I know you gotta at least be able to like do a backflip or have a bass. One of the two.
Something going on,
Yeah, she can sing too.
kind of.
So it's nice when you can have that little bit of creative control over your space because you feel way less inhibited that way, especially if you have to be conscious of how loud you were, when you first started and things like that. And especially if you were to move to a new space, and then you got to be conscious of that again. And it's hard. Like I've tried doing like quiet practices, and it's just not the same.
No.
No.
It's
No.
like I need a little bit of some body to it so I can actually feel the music and be able to connect with it.
Especially on a bass, it's like you're usually feeling it more than you hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
So-
the worst thing to be told is, can you guys turn down a little? Like it's
Oh,
never.
God.
I hate being asked that. I hate being asked that.
Just down just a little bit.
Just got asked that at a gig a few weeks ago. It's like, can you guys turn down just a little bit?
Like get the fuck out.
Turn up. Yeah, we're turning it down right now. Here, let me just turn
don't
it up a
worry
little
about
bit.
It's crazy. It sounds louder.
Oh no,
Figure it
I
out.
turned it down. I swear. Like, what are you
Right.
talking about?
To the left. Right.
So y'all been staying busy, using obviously your time during the pandy, working on new material, stuff like that. I'm always kind of curious, what was that first show like when you finally, after the pandemic, things start to open up? What was that first show back like? Was your first time playing out as a band, or did you play out before the pandemic?
Ooh. The first show back was that was a long
Yeah, that was
First and last show.
first, yeah. Well, because we kind of hopped right into the studio after that. But first show back was sadly a celebration of life for Bodie's dad. That's kind of what kicked our butts into gear. He was our biggest fan, and he really wanted to see us succeed and go far. So we figured, what the hell, life's too short. Let's give this thing another go. And yeah, we had a great turnout there. Huge thank you to John Wagner and Lions.
in Ronell.
And Ronell,
She's
yeah.
the one that said about
Yeah.
40 amp Club in Lewiston.
At a social club in Lewiston, and it was a great night. It was awesome. We packed a pretty good crowd, and we just had a blast.
Roy was there in spirit.
Oh.
The album was also dedicated to them as well.
Yes.
That's awesome to hear, to be able to do that type of a dedication. That's I grew up playing music with my dad, and we did something very comparable when he had passed and did a celebration of life of all the people he played music with. And that's a beautiful way to reconnect with him. And definitely not an easy subject to broach. But it's something that we all have to deal with as we get a little bit older and things like that, especially when they're like your biggest champion. And I think it's beautiful that the band is a living homage and to memory. It's hard to say goodbye, but when somebody so close to you cared about what you were doing so much, it kicks you in the ass. You're like, you know what? Let's do this the right way. Let's really give us all and see what we can do. And really, it seems in just the last couple of years that that level of motivation, it's apparent. It's apparent in the change in recording quality. It's apparent in the song structure. It's apparent in the music video that you all just put out a little while ago. It absolutely shows. You don't look like a new band. You look like a very well-established band, in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's good. That's amazing to hear. We're super excited about everything that we've been doing, and I'm so glad that it's being received so well by a whole bunch of different people. They come from different walks of life. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Because you've dropped just this year alone, you got 2 singles out. You had what? You had Life that you dropped.
That
there we
one
go.
came out, yep.
You had dropped Life, and then you had just dropped the music video back in May for Heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay! Look, I did my homework.
And then we did have 2 other singles. The first one was Origin, and the second one was Torn Up Memory. And those are both pretty dope tunes as well. Origin was a song that Rodney wrote in high school.
The one song I wrote.
And
The one song that was finished.
if you listen to it, I don't think anyone would be surprised to know that really the drummer wrote this song.
You could tell when the drummer did it. It's like,
Yeah.
we're going to hang this song up on the fridge just for you. just here you go.
The refrigerator.
Well,
Right
yeah.
where everyone can see it.
Well, learning that, what did you write that in? Was it in like Logic or something?
Well, I mean, I had Devin.
Right.
That was my old guitarist.
Right, but originally you had typed
Written in
it,
garage band.
like
Yeah.
written it with like MIDI or something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
wrote the main guitar riff, and then I built everything else around that with just piano, MIDI pianos, and
All that, and learning that was a bitch because there were some.
Oh. Kind of right there.
Yeah, that was quite the project, especially for these 2. There are a couple of weird chords that were in there that had to be like,
We just ended up changing.
yeah.
Yeah. Let me twist my finger this way. Cross my finger. Yeah. Stretch it, baby. Yeah. Those are
Written
the
on a
worst.
fucking 14 string? What the fuck?
All right, you want me to play the 3rd and the 9th fret at the same time? No way.
yes.
Ah!
But what I think is kind of cool with that though too is that like Origin was a song that Rodney had prior to even knowing any of us, and Heartbeat Melody was actually a song that me and Bodie had as well before. We had Heartbeat Melody and Broken Soul, which are going to be on the record. More or less, they're a little bit different now, but we had them back with bands at high school. So for those 2 songs to be written at different times by different people, and then we're able to kind of bring it to this band and make it sound like the same group wrote it. Like,
We did the same thing with rap.
it's really to show like we're diverse with our music stuff, but we're also very like in tune with what we like as far as playing and writing. So I always thought that was kind of like cool. Like once I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is.
Huge props to our producer, Matt.
Yeah, he was
Of Rebel Studios. Oh
huge
my
on
god.
this whole-
Yeah. It was hysterical because he tested the waters at first, like how much input he was going to be able to give, and we were like, we're an open book. You know what I mean? Like tell us your opinions if you don't like those opinions. We'll tell you, but like
I
otherwise,
think there was one time where we had an opinion, and I was like, no, we're going to keep doing this.
right. But the rest of it was like it was solid, and he really took it. He'd be like, "I like that. Let's change everything about it."
That's what a good producer does that.
Yeah.
That's why it was really cool working with him.
Just-
He knew, it didn't take long for us to trust him with how he saw it.
Yeah.
And we were more excited with the stuff that he was coming out for us as well than anything.
Yeah.
And just working with him was like a really, he knew how to get the best out of us without pushing us overboard.
Yeah.
And, just tweaking a couple of things, like shortening a section, making this section longer, just little things like that.
That really just made the whole song come together so easily. So, yeah,
We've talked about this a lot on the show. When you have a good producer like that, it feels like it's an extra member of the band where they really understand.
At this point in time, I really couldn't imagine working with somebody else for any kind of future album.
No. I think his vocals actually are in some of the crowd stuff that we do in the background, where we would fill the room with all of us, and we just yell the lyrics and whatever, and build layers like that. And
make it sound like a stadium of people is actually chanting along with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So his vocals are kind of in there, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you are putting out the album. You got a release that's coming up here in about a week or so.
It'll be out by the time this goes live.
That's right. It'll be a week after this. It's coming out in a week. Because future tense. That's right. We don't record any of our interviews in the past at all. So you have an album release show happening at Mixers here in Maine.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
In Sabatis.
And you got some heavy hitters on there with you as well.
Yes.
We got a good friend, all the guys from the Lions are real good friends of ours. That's actually kind of a funny story how we met them. It had to have been one of our first few shows that we did.
I'll tell you what show it was. It was Kirkland's farewell show. So the old bass player, and I tagged along and sold merch for that one. But the old bass player, was his last show with them.
And we were playing in New Hampshire. And we got all our stuff there. We're unpacked, grabbing a drink and everything. We start talking to everybody. And there's another band from the same part of town we're all from here. So we got to go meet them. And that's how we met the guys from the Lions. And there's some of the nicest guys. And put on one hell of a show.
Oh yeah.
And then Sterling, Rodney, and I worked for the drummer for a while. And he's a super great guy. We haven't played with them yet, but we're super excited to. They put out some.
They are the sweetest. They have been on the MixTape quite a bit. We absolutely love Sterling. We've played Alliance before. We've yet to have him on as a guest, but that could always change anytime here.
I'm sure they would.
I'm sure they would. They're fucking awesome band as well. Now, this is happening at Mixers on July 14th. It's a Friday. And what's exciting about this show is that there's no cover.
No cover.
Yeah, there's no cover.
No excuses. Get your ass there.
Exactly. There's a huge parking lot, so you don't have to fuck around with parking. So that's also great.
Also, the album.
Come, have fun, tip your bartender.
Also, grab the album early.
Yep.
We will be selling it at the show also.
And it is a pre-release show, so if you come to get an album, you'll be able to listen to it earlier than the rest of
Ooh, which is exciting. So, I heard a rumor that a wild Punky will be making an appearance because the venue which you're playing at, I will say, is less than an hour from my secret underground bunker. I'll say that. My secret undisclosed location in Central Maine. You are very close to it. I'll say that. So a wild Punky may be coming to hang out because I don't think I can miss. I mean, honestly, you got Alliance, you got Sterling, and then y'all. I mean, that's going to be an unbelievable night.
Great
So,
lineup.
Mixtapers, the link is down below in the chat. You definitely want to go and check it out. And it's 21 plus, no cover, correct?
Correct.
Exactly.
That's right.
Literally
So
no
heavy-
excuse not to go unless you're young.
There's
right?
literally no excuse. It is a pre-album release show. We're super excited about it. Mixtapers, we're stoked. We're going to do our deep dive on Midnight Possession. We're checking some old tracks. We're checking some new ones. We're going to check out a music video. Oh, man. Now, before we head out, are we missing anything that's up and coming for y'all?
I just wanted to plug, help out some friends. I want to plug that Alliance just dropped their new album last week.
Yeah.
So go listen
And
to
it's
that.
awesome. Disillusion is what the album name, right?
Yeah.
And Sterling, they just dropped a.
Didn't they just drop a single as well? Yeah.
Yes, Escape Clause. New
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, such a good track.
So yeah, keep an eye out. We will have just released free ads. There may or may not be another video to go with that eventually. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled. And yeah, we're super stoked to be out here doing what we love to do, and thanks for listening.
Well, we're excited. Mixtapers, we're going to do our deep dive tonight, and I'm super excited because we are going to be able to meet in the wild, and that's my favorite way to see a band. I mean, obviously, Mixtapers, go and follow them. Links are down below, but if you're able to, go and show your support at a live show. Get your ass back in the venue. This is the best way to go and support a band. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Let's make sure if I get everybody all the way down the board. We got Bodie, we got Nick, we got Warren, we got Heather, and we got Rodney making up all of Midnight Possession. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Sit tight, Mixtapers. We'll be right back.